My beloved child. Don't skip. Pause for just a moment, because what you are about to hear feels as though it arrived at the exact second it was meant to find you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. This is not the kind of story that reveals everything at once. It unfolds one heartbeat at a time, and every new moment changes the meaning of the last. Only a few minutes ago, something completely unexpected interrupted the ordinary rhythm of your soulmate's day. They believed today would pass like every other day. They woke up carrying familiar thoughts, following familiar routines, expecting nothing unusual. Yet destiny had quietly prepared a moment that no one around them could have predicted. The air itself seemed different. An ordinary conversation suddenly stopped. A phone notification appeared. A stranger said something unexpected. A familiar place suddenly felt unfamiliar. Your soulmate couldn't explain why, but an overwhelming feeling rushed over them as though their heart was trying to warn them before their mind could understand. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. At first they tried to ignore the feeling. They smiled politely. They continued walking. They answered questions. They acted as though everything was perfectly normal. But deep inside, nothing felt normal anymore. The feeling continued to grow stronger. Every passing second seemed to whisper that today was unlike any other day they had ever experienced. Then something happened. Not loud. Not dramatic. But impossible to forget. Someone unexpectedly mentioned a subject that instantly reminded them of the future they secretly dream about. Without warning, your soulmate became completely silent. The room was still moving. People were still talking. But inside their heart, time itself seemed to pause. Have you ever experienced a moment where everything around you suddenly fades into the background because one single thought becomes louder than everything else? That is exactly what happened. They weren't thinking about work. They weren't thinking about yesterday. They weren't even thinking about tomorrow. One thought quietly stood above every other thought. A connection they could never fully explain. Don't skip. Because the next part changes everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. At that exact moment, someone nearby noticed the sudden change in their expression. Are you all right? It sounded like an ordinary question. But it reached much deeper than anyone realized. Your soulmate looked up for only a second before quietly saying, I don't know why, but something feels different today. Those simple words surprised even them. Because they hadn't planned to say them. The truth had slipped out before they could stop it. The conversation continued, yet their attention kept drifting somewhere else. Almost as if their heart was following a path their eyes could not yet see. Every small coincidence began connecting together. A familiar song. A meaningful number. A memory that hadn't crossed their mind in months. A quiet feeling of hope they thought had disappeared forever. Piece by piece, everything seemed to point toward one invisible direction. Yet they still didn't understand why. And then, the truly shocking situation unfolded. Without expecting it, they suddenly found themselves standing in a place they never intended to be. Nothing dangerous. Nothing frightening. But deeply emotional. A place connected with memories. A place where forgotten feelings suddenly returned all at once. The moment they arrived, they felt an overwhelming wave of emotion. Their breathing slowed. Their heartbeat grew louder. Their eyes searched every corner as though expecting someone, or something. They couldn't explain it. Neither could anyone watching them. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. While everyone else believed this was only another ordinary moment. Your soulmate quietly realized this day had already become unforgettable. The strange feeling inside them refused to disappear. Instead, it became stronger. Much stronger. Every step they took afterward seemed guided by something greater than coincidence. One unexpected conversation led to another. One forgotten memory unlocked another. One tiny reminder suddenly explained emotions they had carried for far too long without understanding. Little by little, hidden pieces of the puzzle began fitting together. Still, the biggest piece had not yet appeared. That revelation was still approaching. Closer than they realized. And when it finally arrives, nothing inside them will remain the same. Don't skip. Because what happens next may become the moment they remember for years. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As evening slowly approached, they finally stopped pretending everything was normal. They admitted something to themselves they had avoided for a very long time. They could no longer ignore what their heart had been trying to tell them. Some moments are too meaningful to dismiss as coincidence. Some feelings return because they were never truly gone. Some connections refuse to disappear because they still have a purpose waiting to unfold. That realization filled them with both excitement and uncertainty. Questions appeared. Answers remained hidden. Yet somehow, hope became stronger than fear. The story, however, is only beginning. Because what happened just minutes ago was not the ending. It was the first sign that an extraordinary chapter has quietly begun. And the next moment waiting ahead may reveal something even more surprising than anything that has happened so far. So don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you, and the next part reveals the secret your soulmate has only just begun to discover. A quiet truth is about to rise to the surface, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Only moments after everything seemed to settle down, your soulmate believed the strange emotions would slowly disappear. They took a deep breath, convinced themselves they had simply been overwhelmed, and tried to return to their normal routine. But the day had other plans. The feeling refused to leave. Instead, it became even stronger. Everywhere they looked, little reminders kept appearing. A familiar place caught their attention. A simple conversation echoed something they had heard long ago. Even the smallest details seemed connected, as though invisible pieces were guiding them toward an answer they had not been searching for until now. They paused. For several long seconds, they simply stood there, watching the world move around them. People walked by without noticing anything unusual. Cars continued down the road. Voices blended into the background. Yet inside your soulmate's heart, everything had become incredibly quiet. It was in that silence that they finally admitted something they had hidden even from themselves. There was someone they could no longer stop thinking about. No matter how many times they tried to focus on other responsibilities, that thought kept returning. It wasn't forced. It wasn't imagined. It simply refused to disappear. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Just then, someone unexpectedly approached them and started an ordinary conversation. At first, it seemed like nothing important. They exchanged a few simple words, smiled politely, and prepared to move on. Then one unexpected question changed everything. If you could go back and change one decision, would you? The question landed like a ripple across a still lake. Your soulmate didn't answer immediately. Instead, they looked away for a moment, thinking about everything life had taught them. Memories began returning one after another. Moments of laughter. Moments of silence. Dreams that had once felt distant. Promises they never forgot. Their answer finally came in a calm voice. I wouldn't change the people who changed my heart. The person standing beside them smiled, unaware of how much those words truly meant. But your soulmate knew. Those words had come from somewhere deep inside. From a place where honesty could no longer hide. As they continued walking, another unexpected event unfolded. A gentle breeze carried a familiar melody from somewhere nearby. It wasn't just the music that caught their attention. It was the memory attached to it. For a brief moment, it felt as though time folded in on itself. Old emotions suddenly felt new again. Hope quietly returned. Not because someone told them to hope, but because their own heart refused to give up. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The rest of the evening unfolded in ways they never expected. Every conversation seemed meaningful. Every coincidence seemed intentional. Every step forward felt as though it was leading them toward a destination they had unknowingly been approaching for a very long time. They stopped questioning every sign. Instead, they began paying attention. That simple change made all the difference. For the first time in a long while, they allowed themselves to believe that unexpected moments could carry extraordinary meaning. And just when they thought the surprises were over, one final moment stopped them completely. They noticed something they had overlooked earlier in the day. A tiny detail. Easy for anyone else to ignore. Yet to them, it felt impossible to dismiss. Their heartbeat quickened. Their thoughts became clear. The uncertainty that had followed them all day slowly transformed into quiet confidence. Without speaking a single word, they smiled. Not because they had every answer, but because they finally believed that today's shocking situation had not been an accident. It had been the beginning of a story still waiting to unfold. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. And what your soulmate is about to discover next will challenge everything they believed was possible. A revelation that no one saw coming, waiting in part 3. The next few moments revealed something your soulmate never expected to face. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the evening grew quieter, your soulmate thought the emotional whirlwind had finally passed. They told themselves it was time to move forward, to stop overthinking every unexpected event that had happened throughout the day. But just as they began to feel calm again, one final surprise appeared. So subtle that most people would have ignored it. They couldn't. A familiar name surfaced in an unexpected conversation. No one around them understood why they suddenly became so quiet. They simply smiled, nodded politely, and listened. But inside, their heart was racing. It felt as though every strange moment from earlier in the day was now connecting into one complete picture. The questions they had been carrying were no longer random. Each one was leading somewhere. They found a quiet place to sit for a few moments. Without distractions. Without noise. Just their own thoughts. For the first time that day, they stopped running from their feelings. They asked themselves a question they had avoided for far too long. What if this isn't a coincidence at all? The answer didn't come immediately. Instead, it arrived as a feeling. A calmness they hadn't experienced in a long time settled over them. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was peaceful. And sometimes, peace speaks louder than excitement ever could. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Just then, someone nearby shared a story about how unexpected moments can completely change the direction of a person's life. Your soulmate listened carefully. Every word seemed strangely familiar. It reminded them that the biggest turning points often begin with the smallest events. One unexpected conversation. One ordinary afternoon. One decision to pay attention instead of walking away. They looked back on everything that had happened only minutes before. The unusual feeling. The unexpected question. The memories that returned without warning. The quiet realization they could no longer ignore. None of it felt random anymore. It felt connected. As they continued their journey home, they noticed the world around them with fresh eyes. The sky looked different. The breeze felt lighter. Even the familiar streets seemed to carry a new sense of possibility. Nothing around them had actually changed. But something inside them had. That inner change was impossible to ignore. For so long, they had searched for certainty in the outside world. Now they realized that the first answer had been growing quietly within their own heart all along. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Later that night, they found themselves looking through old memories. Not to relive the past, but to understand it. Instead of focusing on what had been lost, they noticed something they had overlooked before. Every meaningful chapter of their life had begun unexpectedly. Every important connection had arrived when they least expected it. Every challenge had quietly prepared them for something greater. That realization filled them with hope. They no longer felt trapped by uncertainty. They felt ready for whatever came next. And then, just before they decided to end the day, one final moment caught their attention. A simple message. A small reminder. A quiet detail that seemed ordinary to everyone else. Yet to your soulmate, it felt like the missing piece of a puzzle. They didn't smile because everything had already happened. They smiled because they realized the story was only beginning. The shocking situation from earlier had opened a door they never imagined would appear. Beyond that door was a future still unwritten. A future filled with conversations that had not yet happened. Choices that had not yet been made. And discoveries waiting at exactly the right moment. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter will reveal why today's unexpected events were only the first sign of a much greater surprise, one that will make your soulmate see everything from a completely new perspective. What happened next brought your soulmate to a realization they could no longer ignore. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The night had become quiet, and the world around your soulmate seemed to slow down. The rush of the day had faded, yet their thoughts refused to become still. Every unexpected moment replayed in their mind, not as scattered memories, but as pieces of a story that suddenly made sense. They closed their eyes for a moment. Not to escape, but to listen. Deep inside, there was a gentle certainty they had never noticed before. It wasn't demanding attention. It wasn't filled with fear or confusion. It was calm, steady, and impossible to silence. For the first time in a long while, they stopped asking, "Why did this happen?" Instead, they asked, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single question changed everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As they reflected on the events of the day, they realized something remarkable. Every unexpected delay had protected them from rushing. Every surprising conversation had pointed them toward a forgotten truth. Every emotional moment had uncovered feelings they had buried beneath daily responsibilities. Nothing had been wasted. Even the moments that once seemed confusing now carried purpose. A quiet smile appeared on their face. Not because every mystery had been solved, but because they finally trusted that the answers would arrive at the right time. Then another unexpected moment unfolded. Someone they hadn't spoken with in quite some time reached out with a simple greeting. The message itself was ordinary, but the timing was extraordinary. It reminded your soulmate that meaningful connections often return when they are needed most. They responded with kindness, yet something inside them whispered that this was only the beginning. The conversation ended quickly, but its impact remained. Their heart felt lighter. Their thoughts became clearer. The uncertainty that had followed them all day slowly transformed into quiet confidence. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As midnight drew closer, your soulmate stepped outside for a few peaceful moments. The cool evening air carried a sense of stillness they hadn't felt in weeks. They looked toward the sky and realized how often they had been searching for signs without noticing the quiet blessings already surrounding them. Gratitude replaced worry. Hope replaced hesitation. Courage replaced doubt. It wasn't a dramatic transformation. It was something even more powerful. A steady decision to move forward with an open heart. At that very moment, they understood that the shocking situation from earlier had not appeared to frighten them. It had appeared to awaken them. To remind them that ordinary days can suddenly become extraordinary. To show them that unexpected moments often become the beginning of life's most meaningful chapters. And just when they believed the day had finally reached its conclusion, one last realization settled gently into their heart. The journey ahead would not be rushed. The answers would continue to unfold one step at a time. Each new day would reveal another piece of the story. Each unexpected encounter would carry fresh meaning. Each quiet moment would bring greater clarity. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. The story you have followed was never just about one shocking moment, it was about the quiet transformation that began within your soulmate's heart, a journey that is only beginning and whose greatest chapter is still waiting to be written. The story has reached a moment where every quiet clue begins to reveal its true meaning. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The morning arrived, but your soulmate woke with the unmistakable feeling that something inside had changed forever. The events from the previous day were no longer just memories. They had become a turning point. As sunlight filled the room, they sat quietly for a few moments, thinking about everything that had happened. The unexpected conversations, the surprising emotions. The strange sense that every ordinary moment had been leading toward something greater. For the first time in a long while, they stopped trying to explain everything with logic. Instead, they simply allowed themselves to feel. And in that stillness, a new realization gently appeared. Sometimes the biggest changes begin long before anyone else can see them. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the day unfolded, familiar routines continued, but they no longer felt ordinary. Every face they met reminded them that every person carries a story hidden beneath the surface. Every passing moment seemed filled with possibilities they had never noticed before. Then something unexpected happened once again. A casual conversation suddenly turned into a meaningful one. Someone shared a simple thought. Life has a way of bringing the right people together when both hearts are finally ready. The words lingered long after the conversation ended. Your soulmate couldn't explain why those few sentences stayed with them. But deep inside, they knew they were hearing exactly what they needed at that moment. Their heart, once filled with uncertainty, now carried quiet confidence. Not confidence that every answer had already arrived, but confidence that the journey itself was leading somewhere beautiful. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the afternoon passed, your soulmate noticed something remarkable. The worries that had once occupied their mind no longer felt as heavy. Instead of focusing on what had gone wrong in the past, they began imagining what could still go right. Hope quietly replaced hesitation. Patience replaced frustration. Peace replaced restless thinking. It wasn't because life had suddenly become perfect. It was because their perspective had changed. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not a dramatic event. Sometimes it is the quiet transformation of a heart that finally chooses hope. That transformation had begun. And nothing could stop it now. Later that evening, they found themselves smiling for reasons they couldn't fully explain. It wasn't because they had received every answer. It wasn't because every mystery had been solved. It was because they sensed that the story was moving exactly as it was meant to. Every delay had taught them patience. Every surprise had taught them trust. Every unexpected twist had prepared them for what was still ahead. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Just before the day came to a close, your soulmate looked toward the horizon and whispered a quiet promise to themselves. I will no longer let fear decide my future. Those words were simple. Yet they carried incredible strength. In that very moment, the uncertainty that had followed them for so long began to lose its hold. They chose courage. They chose faith. They chose to keep moving forward. And although they still couldn't see the entire path, they no longer needed to. One step at a time was enough. One day at a time was enough. One hopeful moment at a time was enough. The shocking situation that began this journey had become something far greater than anyone expected. It had awakened a new chapter. A chapter filled with quiet strength, renewed hope, and possibilities waiting just beyond the horizon. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. And in the final chapter, the greatest revelation of all will unfold. A discovery that will bring every unexpected moment together and reveal why this remarkable journey began exactly when it did.